The sight was jarring. Two teenagers in the middle of Nyayo Stadium, tossing, kicking and mocking the Kenyan flag. Within hours, the video went viral, sparking outrage, fury and a demand for action. The DCI now says those teenagers are behind bars. But what does this case really reveal about Kenya's political climate, our laws and the symbolic weight of the flag itself? Kenya is On September 25th, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations announced the arrest of 14-year-old Muhyiddin Ahmed Abukar. Earlier, the same day, his alleged accomplice, 17-year-old Ibrahim Haidar Yusuf, had already been picked up. Both are now in custody. The DCI statement was swift, direct and firm. Kenya does not tolerate disrespect for its symbols of sovereignty. The incident unfolded on September 20th during the CAF Champions League tie between Somalia's Mogadishu City Club and Kenya Police FC. Cameras captured the moment. The boys pulled down the Kenyan flag, kicked it, rubbed it on themselves and laughed as they did it. A match meant to showcase football ended up being remembered for a national insult. The arrests are anchored in Section 2B of the National Flag, Emblems and Names Act, Cap 99. This isn't just symbolic. The law makes any form of desecration a criminal offense punishable by fines or imprisonment. In a country where the flag has become increasingly visible at protests and rallies, this law represents the state's attempt to draw a line. Patriotism must not be mocked.
I'm called Kenyan. Mimi ni Mjaluo. I'm a Kenyan. The moment nimebeba flag, nimeibeba kama Mkenya. Na ningependa DCI ili kitu cool down. DCI na hizo Subaru zenyu za kidnapping. Wale vijana washikwe, wachukuliwe hatua. There is a lady pia alikanyaga flag hapa. Ashikwe, achukuliwe hatua. The moment you will tell me that Oria akifanya crime because DCI ni Oria hata chukuliwa hatua na NIS, ati sisi tuishi kama wa Kenya, Omera will react. We will react. And Nepal is the way.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen added a political edge. On September 24th, he ordered the arrests, warning that those who disrespect national symbols would face the full force of the law. His words carried an undertone. This wasn't just about discipline, but about sovereignty, dignity, and even deportation if foreign nationals were involved.
Kubali mtu yoyote iwe Mkenya ama mgeni kucheza na uhuru wetu na our symbols of national unity, including our national flag. So, Panaiji, take the necessary legal action. Let the law take its course. As a Minister of Interior, we must show the world that we take our national flag seriously. Being in Kenya is a privilege. And when you play around with our national instruments of national unity, you lose the privilege to live in our country.
I have already directed the DCI ya kwamba huyu mtu anakanyaga bendera yetu ya Kenya. Bendera ile ilipiganiwa hapa mpaka tukapata uhuru yetu, si ni kweli? Hiyo anatucheza ama vipi? Na hatuwezi tukakubali kamwe. So the Directorate of Criminal Investigation is under direct instructions from the Inspector General, none other than Douglas Kanja Kirocho, that he must move with speed and efficiency and ensure that that man is arrested and taken before a court of law. Alafu koti zetu sifanye kazi yao. Bendera yetu lazima iheshimiwe na kila mmoja wetu.
Here's where the tension lies. Over the past year, Kenyan youths have carried the flag in mass protests, treating it as a badge of resistance and hope. To many, The flag has been reclaimed as a people's symbol, but this incident flips that narrative. It forces us to ask, when is the flag a tool of empowerment, and when is it a victim of mockery? The line is fine, and in this case, the state has decided it was crossed.
Bendera yetu lazima iheshimiwe na kila mmoja wetu.
The outrage didn't come from government first. It came from the streets of X, formerly Twitter. The DCI's post announcing the arrests clocked over 45,000 views within hours. One user wrote, "Justice served. No one disrespects our flag and walks free." Another countered, 14 and 17, these are kids. Education over jail. This online clash reflects a generational divide in how justice is perceived. Some Kenyans see this as a patriotic necessity, others see it as overreach. The age of the suspects complicates the debate. Are these criminals or misguided teenagers who need guidance rather than prison bars? In a nation where political leaders often escape accountability for bigger scandals, the swiftness of this arrest stands out. It raises an uncomfortable question about double standards. But is it?
Do you know how people had to fight to get that Kenyan flag? We had people disrespected by the colonizers, and Mau Mau come up to fight so that we can gain independence and raise our Kenyan flag. Then we see young boys come in Kenya and just disrespect our flag by stomping on it and saying very annoying words. This is a warning to anyone. If you did not know, and the CS for Interior, Kipchumba Murkomen, has actually issued a warning that urging that we must have the respect of the national flag, because we have a national flag and Emblems and Names Act that guides on how this such emblems and national flag should be respected and should be treated. So for anyone who does not know, there is power in a flag of any nation, and that is a symbol of respect for that nation. So if you disrespect that, that is cause for you to end up in jail.
This was an outright desecration of Kenya's flag, something that will never sit down well with Kenyans, the pride of Kenyans. This case is more than a headline. It is about Kenya asserting the sanctity of its symbols in an era where patriotism is constantly contested. It's about how far the state is willing to go to defend national identity and how far Kenyans can go to be patriotic. It's about the role of the young people whose actions, whether in protest or in mockery, now shape the political conversation in ways older generations never anticipated. 2 teenagers are now behind bars, but the bigger story is about us, the citizens. What do we demand respect for, and what do we forgive? Kenya's flag isn't just a piece of cloth. That should sink in. It is a battleground for meaning, and in this case, meaning has been defended loudly and unapologetically. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Bushabi Jr.